Hello everyone, this is Lifelight Wisdom. Thank you so much for joining me today. I now just recently got new stock of sage, so I'm just gonna go ahead and purify my space as well as your energy as well. I already cleansed the space with Palo Santo beforehand. And yeah, for today, I will be doing some soul truth cards. So here we are. So we are going to find out what truth your soul wants you or is dying for you to know. Okay? And then that will guide our reading and we shall go from there. Okay? All right. So let's get started. All right. So, what soul truth is the spirits? Please let us know what soul truth we should learn about today. This is a timeless reading. Please let this reading find the people that it was meant for, and that may it find them at the right time. So, am I apologizing for my truth? And most importantly, on the top of the deck is, who am I ready to forgive? I think it also speaks to a lot before I flip the cards, even because I am going to take this. Am I in my head or in my heart? But I think just this two for now. Am I apologizing for my truth? I think we are so afraid of taking up space that we always apologize for our own very existence. That is what the cards, that is what spirit is telling me right at the moment. And then, who am I ready to forgive? I think the first person that you have to forgive is yourself, because there might be a lot of moments in your life where you have betrayed yourself or you have abandoned yourself in order to be less, and or in order to protect yourself, in order to fit in order to have a sense of belonging. It is not your fault. It is not a fault. It is not a mistake that you did this. It is just something that you had to do in order to survive. Okay? So now let's flip the cards. So this was the first card that came about. So what part of you is apologizing for your truth and why? So for your soul action today is today be proud of your truth. Catch yourself when you want to apologize or withhold parts of it. You never know whose life you will change when you are brave enough to speak it. Be the lighthouse that shines on the courage that lives in all of us. This will give others permission to speak their own truth. There is room for all of us. And for today's mantra is, courage is contagious. And for this card, who am I ready to forgive? I am not what happened to me. I am who I choose to become. This is by Carl Jung, who is one of my favorite psychologists, especially with his work on the shadow. Okay. And since this came about, we will then proceed with understanding the shadow that is fueling this. Okay. So, is it time to let go, forgive, and move onward? Is your soul ready to forgive someone else or yourself? Forgiveness brings sweet release, freedom, and insight. Look at it from their shoes. Notice how you grew and what you learned. Who do you want to become, and how is this resistance holding you from what your soul wants? And for your soul action today as well, write a forgiveness letter, then practice the Ho'oponopono prayer today while thinking of the person you're ready to forgive. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. You can do this. You can write a forgiveness letter. You can ask ChatGPT to kind of do it for you if you have some barriers, like me with ADHD. Sometimes there's some barriers just to getting down to the nitty gritty of it. Okay, so I would just like to share this an experience that I have with my own truth as well, because for me, my with my own experience, it's like it's always been tough to be different. Okay, first of all, I just found or like have been diagnosed with neurodivergence with ADHD. I knew that there was always something not wrong, but different about me. So it's like neurodivergent, had complex PTSD, things like that. But today I met with some friends and then we were talking about our truth as well. And then one of the things that I have been struggling with was the fact that I'm always at some certain point at a crossroads between two worlds. We can say it's like with religion, for example. My mom is Catholic, my dad is Muslim, and it's just a mix of everything, and it's kind of hard to balance that. I am also a foreigner living in a foreign land. I'm an Asian living in Europe, things like that. So it's just like all of this intersections, and it's always been, how do I say this? I've tried my best to be adaptable and I've been proud of being adaptable. But sometimes we can be a little bit more, we can go a little bit farther or like in excess of that, and to the point where we bend over too much. And we were just talking about like, okay, how are we supposed, what is our purpose, what is the truth? Because like we always, have you ever experienced that feeling of questioning, okay, there's something more to life, there must be more to life? And what we realized is, we were just speaking about, I this friend of mine is also a health coach, so we were just talking about like how the world is going about, like what ails the world. But our job and our truth is to be light itself, okay? This is why, like, we live our lives being the light. It doesn't really matter, how do you say this? It doesn't um, matter how people will react, because I do think like everyone has their own free will, and of course, like people will awaken at the time when they're ready to awaken, okay? What you can do is to just burn your light brightly and then proceed with living your life, continuing your life, doing your best, doing what it is that you feel called to do here on earth, and that will inspire other people to do the same. Okay? So, I know it's a little bit long-winded, but it's, how do you see this, like with Mahatma Gandhi, right? Be the light you want to be, the change you want to see in the world. Be the light that you want to see in the world. Okay, your job here on earth is to burn so bright, not just to shine a light on others, but to burn so bright. Um, don't burn yourself out, of course, but burn so bright that you help others illuminate. Um, you help illuminate the way for others. It's like, trailblazing. That's where we remove the obstacles in a way. Your job is to kind of go through the challenges in life, and through the lessons that we learn in these challenges, like with the trauma, with the pain, with the joy, that serves as fuel for you to burn even brighter. Okay, let's see. So let's see the shadow here. Okay, that is kind of behind this, or like what you would need to forgive. uh, in your situation. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, control issues. So fear of losing power or false security leads to vulnerability, release, trust, empowerment. This card is about the ego. You see here with the crown chakra as well. We were also talking about this, and how the prefrontal cortex is usually the seat of the ego. I think some neurological science supports this, and this I actually got this information from the Quran, wherein like there was like that lying sinful forelock, and now it's been proven that the prefrontal cortex is where the morality, the decision making, and then where we rationalize fear usually comes from. It's like the part that activates when we usually, or when we lie, for example, or when we try to rationalize fear. Okay, so this control issues is most linked to the ego for sure. And what is the ego having an issue about? It's an anger. Here is the anger. I think it's fighting with your own self. Why? Because your expectations are not met, creating frustration. You have to express this rage in a healthy way. Well, what we're saying with this rage is that divine rage. You have to channel this energy of rage, because sometimes, even though like rage, anger is kind of negative, sometimes some people use anger sometimes to actually manifest things. But it's actually using that and harnessing that rage, what we call the divine rage, to rebel against the systems that tries to oppress you. When we say divine rage, it's not, well, it's not an accident that I say range, because it's like um it's being wide, right? But anyway, going back, it's when we say the divine rage, it's in a way that is justified, if that makes sense. Why is it justified? Because right now, I think what you we have the soul mirrors card here. Others reflect your own relationship with yourself, open heart, healing union. How other people treat you is a reflection of how you believe yourself to be. Okay. And what we mean by like this divine rage is to channel um, this rage into making sure, like channel this energy. It's energy at the end of the day, right? So channel this energy into working on something that is for your benefit. Say for example, I am right now, I'm like kind of having issues with the banks, because like here in France, like you have um like they have so much fees, and then like with the ADHD, it's a little bit of a challenge to manage the finances, because it's like it's a vicious cycle wherein there's like, for example, there's overdraft fees, and then they will charge more because you are in overdraft because of a previous fee that they charge on you. It's kind of like that. So it is oppression, it is very predatory. And so that will incite rage, right? But make it a divine rage, because you have to fight for what is right for you. You have to fight for what you deserve. This is what we are getting to. Okay? And journey inward, the path to enlightenment starts with you. Introspection, growth. I won't go through that too much, because this is where it's coming from. It's really trying to reflect on how you are able to help other people, and most of all, how you can help other people by first of all helping yourself. Okay, now we are prone to a little bit of self sabotage and escapism. So this is not this is what this is a control issue, okay? Sometimes what we don't change or we actively choose, okay? So if we don't change the patterns or like behaviors of procrastination, the negative self-talk, we don't change our limiting beliefs, we are choosing those limiting beliefs. We are choosing to be that, okay? So escapism, detach from daily struggles and relax, but don't use it as a form of avoidance, relaxation, facing reality. It's okay to relax, it's okay to rest, but also be aware that sometimes um too much rest, of course, can be avoidance. You just like be make sure it's balanced. Make sure that it is um a detachment that is led from the heart, that is something that you yourself is aware of. It's really just being observant as well, being observant of how you kind of try to detach. Because for some reason, for example, um, we use this, oh yeah, like I'm going to relax, I'm just gonna watch television, for example. But then it becomes a bad habit when we do too much of it because now it kind of becomes a reason for us to procrastinate on the things that we have to do. But just be aware of that. I think that is the dynamic that is speaking for here. And the thing is that this is what you have to forgive yourself for. And for me personally, I am very I am neurodivergent with ADHD. This is something that I am now learning uh, to manage as well, and learning to forgive myself for, because um, there are some things that are beyond my control, but there are also things that are within my control, and that is myself. Okay, ourselves. Ourselves is our own kingdom. We are sovereign within ourselves. That is the sole truth that we do not need to apologize for. We are sovereign for ourselves, okay? And who are we ready to forgive? We are ready to forgive. Like when we say forgive, like there's also like a saying like forgive debts, right? Like it's to erase debts. So forgive that, forgive and forget that um that part of you that kind of apologized or like kind of made yourself smaller and forgot that you are sovereign, that you are the one who is the ruler of your own kingdom, which is yourself. Okay, so let's see. I think I'll just close this out. This is very quick reading. Let's close it out with abundance cards. Let's see. Very short, I think, this reading. Oh, that's a lot. Science instincts are the message from the inner divine. Yeah. I think you are also ready to forgive yourself, and I think that's what your soul is actually trying to tell you at the moment. It's time. You don't need to wait for any other signs. You don't need to wait for any other permission, for the permission of others. You validate your own self, is what I'm hearing. Okay? Allowing. Radical acceptance says yes to reality in a given moment, so what's needed can come next. Allowing. It's also like, am I ready to forgive? You are allowing something to come to pass as well. It's a little bit of semantics, but when you forgive something, you allow it to flow. Okay? A true offering takes what can be an unbearable cross and returns it to love. Okay, returns it to love because you are love, so you return it to yourself. Okay, so this is what we are talking about. There's that anger, that divine rage, right? So if you are going through some certain trauma, some certain pain, this is very difficult to bear. I understand that, but this is also something that you can alchemize and transform in order for it to be a lesson for you, for it to be a catalyst towards your evolution, your soulful evolution, and then ascend you and make you fly. Okay? Inner child, allow me to give compassion and love to that little one. Let me attend to its deepest needs and feelings. And what I'm hearing here for your deepest needs and feelings is also that sense of belongingness. I understand that sometimes we we have done some things, or like motivated by the desire to belong. But the thing is, you will find very much that you already belonged in the first place, and you belong to love. You belong to the love, to love yourself, and you belong to yourself because you are love yourself. Okay? Okay. And freedom. I no longer want this fiery ring of resentment to block the good. Release me from its bonds. You have to forgive the anger, the resentment. I know that, like, the control. There might be things that are beyond your expectations, but let that, even if it's not within your expectations, let that be something that will propel you forward. Because I do believe that the universe will use anything and everything to get you to your true purpose. That's a lot of cards. This is the final one. And detachment. With detachment, you finally feel whole inside, with or without the fulfillment of a particular desire. Ironically, that's often when it's fulfilled. Yeah, when you realize that you don't need what you want, what you've been wanting all along, because, oh, I drew this. I was going to go for the other angel cards, but I guess, okay. These are also angel cards. Yeah, when you are actually, it's when you realize that you don't need something, that's when it comes, right? Usually. And also, um, oh, that's beautiful. See, that is beautiful. Okay, so I know it's been quite difficult because you have to forgive the fact that maybe things didn't turn out the way you expect them to be, or it's not in the same situation as you thought it would be. Um, and that's allowing that to unfold as it should have. Now, let me just go back here. These are two color violets, and then this one is kind of orange. This three. Yeah, I don't think this is red. This is more orange to me. And so this is the sacral chakra with the crown chakra. If not the let me just see. Um, yeah, because I think this is indigo. I think there would be purple here. Yeah, this is the purple. So that is actually the third eye chakra, the Ajna. And I see, you have to see where your soul is calling. Okay, now let's go here. um 28. In an effort to accomplish great things, you recognize the value of working with others. You make a capable and compassionate leader who can bring people together and drive a team toward achievement. And 3333. Okay, you're being called upon to use your spiritual gifts as a light worker, assisting all of humanity. Live your truths and be a positive light to others. I am powerful. You're a leader, you're a powerful. I think those who will find this reading as being asked to help others, to lead others, to be, say, a pastoral for others, it's to do pastoral work, it's to do guidance work, to be a Sherpa, to be a guide, to be a sage, and to be wise and to use the pain that you've gone through in life, use those experiences that you've gone through in life. And this is why I name my channel Lifelight Wisdom as well, in order for you to share with other people the light of your experiences, and so that other people may learn from them. Of course, people have their own free will, and they will learn as they want to. They will choose to awaken as they want, as they are called to do. But I think whoever found this video, your mission right here is to assist and to support this work of being able to burn so brightly, even if it's just for yourself. Because when other people see you loving yourself, healing yourself, doing the work on yourself, that's when they get inspired to do the same thing. And then it will multiply into the collective, because courage is contagious, right? So when they see you doing well, like being able to transmute the pain and the joy of living, that's when you inspire other people to also live their own truth. And I think that's it for your reading. Thank you so much for watching Lifelight Wisdom. Please do subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. And yeah, without further ado, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.